The fabulous alienation of the outsider, being of no fixed abode, by Thomas Ligotti. The outsider lifts his shadow-wearied eyes and gazes about the moldy chamber where, to his knowledge, he has always lived. He has no recollection of who he is, or how he came to dwell so far removed from others of his kind, who, he reasons, must exist, perhaps in that world above, which he vividly recalls, though he glimpsed it only once and long ago. One night, the outsider emerges from his underground domain, and, guided solely by the glowing moon he has never really seen before, scrambles down a dark road, searching for friendly lights, and, he hopes, friendly faces. Eventually, he comes upon a large, festively illuminated house. At first, he peeks shyly through the windows at the partiers inside, but soon his unbearable longing for the society of others, along with a barely evolved sense of etiquette, liberate him from all hesitancies. Locating an unlocked door, he crashes the affair. Inside the house, a structure of gorgeous Georgian decor, everyone screams and flees at the first sight of the outsider. After only a few seconds of recognition and companionship, this recluse by default is once again left to keep his own company. That is to say, he has been abandoned to the company of that untimely horror, which initially set those gay and fine-looking people so indecorously on their heels. What was it? He asks himself, posing the question over and over with seemingly infinite repetition before collecting wits to squint a little to one side. What was it? He asks for the infinite time, add 1 or 2. It was you, answers the mirror. It was you. Now it is the outsider's turn to make his getaway from that hideous living corpse of unholy and unwholesome familiarity, that thing which had imperfectly decomposed in its subterranean resting place. He seeks refuge in a chaotic dream world, where no one really notices the dead, and no one even looks twice at the disgusting. Eventually, however, he tires of this deranged, though unhostile dimension of alienage, his heart more pulverized than simply broken. He decides to return to the subhumous envelope from which he never should have strayed, there to reclaim his birthright of sloth, amnesia, and darkness. A period of time passes, indefinite for the outsider, though decisive for the balance of the world's population. For reasons unknown, the outsider once more drags his bulky frame earthwards. Arriving exhausted in the subterranean realm, he finds himself standing badly in neither darkness nor daylight, but some morbid transitional phase between the two. A senile sun throbs with deadly dimness, and every living thing on the face of the land has been choked by desolation and by an equivocal gloom which has, perhaps, already lasted millennia, if not longer. The outsider, a thing of the dead, has managed to outlive all those others whom, either from madness or mere loss of memory, he would willingly seek out to escape a personal void that seems to have existed prior to astronomy. This possibility is now, of course, as defunct as the planet itself. With all biology in tatters, the outsider will never again hear the consoling gasps of those who shunned him, and whose eyes and hearts he achieved a certain tangible identity, however loathsome. Without the others, he simply cannot go on being himself, for there is no longer anyone to be outside of. In no time at all, he is overwhelmed by this atrocious paradox of fate. In the middle of this revelation, a feeling begins to well up in the outsider, an incalculable sorrow deep inside. From the center of his being, which is now the center of all being that remains in existence, he summons a suicidal outburst of pain, whose force shatters his rotting shape into innumerable fragments. Catastrophically enough, this antic, designed to conclude universal genocide, gives off such energy that the distant sun is revived by a transfusion of warmth and light. And each fragment of the outsider, cast far across the earth, now absorbs the warmth and catches the light, reflecting the future life and festivals of a resurrected race of beings, ones who will remain forever ignorant of their origins, but for whom the sight of a surface of cold, unyielding glass will always hold profound and unexplainable terrors.